All right. This is episode 19 of the Bonos Gamers podcast. Welcome. Here with the actual, original OG crew, which is just me and Yugi. Welcome, Yugi.
Let's go. Just like good old
Back
times.
before there was a Bonos Gamers podcast, there was just Bo and Yugi.
Yeah. Always good to be here. Good to see everybody. Anybody tuning in, either before or after, let us know in the comments. Appreciate all of you, though.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Man, you're rocking a green screen back there.
I know. I upgraded because I don't like the what's it called, the digital one NVIDIA gives you, because it gets kind of fuzzy. So I finally invested in a real one, and
right.
Yeah. I like. Yeah,
it doesn't work quite right without the green screen. Yeah.
No. Yeah, you need it. So I've been enjoying it a lot. Yeah. You know, your boy's been getting back. I mean, it's been a little bit, but it's been feeling good. Hopefully, I can get a good editor and we can start cooking some content. But I know you've been cooking the content. 3.31K. I see you, Bo. My man.
Yeah. Hit 3.3 this yesterday, I think. Yeah.
Great guy.
So it's been cool. Yeah, it's been cool. Yeah, trying to keep it steady, a couple videos a week. I'm mostly getting there. Some weeks are harder than others,
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I saw you on the other day streaming, and I was like, this can't be. Is it really him?
He's really here. Yes, I know. It's weird, but I'm working on it. Like I said, man, I really want to keep doing what we did before. So it's good to be back. Yeah, I'll be back soon. I had to get a haircut. Can't stream with a crooked hairline. It's it's
like this.
It's an abomination.
This wavy mess of
No, you good. You get a pass, man. You got the waves are always a pass, but I don't got that. My hair don't grow that way. If it grows out, I look like a used Q-tip.
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, hey, how you been doing?
Good. Besides that, man,
is wife good? Life good?
Oh yeah, everything good. Wife's good. Life's good. I've been I took your advice and I finally tried Immortals of Avium to jump into the what you've been playing segment. I actually tried it. Did I tell you this, or did
no?
I
You didn't tell
that?
me. You didn't tell me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been kind of ghost. My bad. Yeah, man. I actually tried it. Right, I gave it a shot. I gave it like an honest hour or two, and you were right. Why is that game actually okay?
I know, right?
I'm okay.
I was not expecting. It's not like the greatest game of all time, but
no.
The storyline itself is not what I thought it was at all.
No,
and the way
that's
it
what
opens,
I mean. Because I probably did the same thing you did. I kept my expectations so low, that it's you're pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? Maybe that's how you feel. I don't know, but yeah. I'm not complaining at all. I think you can definitely tell everything you said checks out. There's definitely some optimization issues you can tell.
Right.
But outside of that, I mean, it's not too shabby.
It's
it gets the job done.
Right. It's like it looks unfinished, right?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Like the graphics, it looks like there's the polish, that final few months of polish just isn't there.
No, they skipped
that
part.
The gameplay is pretty solid though.
Yeah. Surprisingly, yeah. I actually enjoyed it. Let me do a little wipey do here. Something's bothering me. Don't mind me, chat. All right. But yeah, the gameplay was actually fun and engaging and varied.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a big fan of the weapon toggle. Because you gotta press it 3 times to cycle.
You gotta cycle through it.
You know, but besides that, I'm gonna be honest. I like the gameplay loop. I like everything about it. I was like,
And as you upgrade your weapons and stuff, or your magic, I guess, or not really weapons, but it gets even better. But the whole story, opening with them watching that performance from the rafters of that play.
Yeah.
And how they used that to not only set up his character and his background, but to set up the story in general, what was going on in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was really creative because they kind of hit two things at once, killed two birds with one stone kind of a thing. And gave us the background of not just the world, but the character that you'd be playing as, and how he grew up as an orphan and a thief, and but has all this power. I thought it was great. So
not bad at all. Looks good, plays good. It's got a nice little looting system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one of those like what best case 7 out of 10 games. Like if you would give it that, I don't know. I would only give it that only for visuals and obviously certain aspects.
The visuals definitely take it down a notch for sure, right? Because they really do look unfinished. But I think the sound is pretty good. And again, that gameplay, and I think the story's pretty good too. And even the characters you meet along the way, I think are pretty interesting for the most part. So I don't know. I would give it at least a 7. I might give it an 8. Maybe. If the graphics were finished, it would definitely be an 8.
Yeah. Like if it was late PS4 game, I'd upgrade it. You know, maybe even like mid-gen PS4 game, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I give it an 8.
If did you get to the dragon fight yet?
I did.
So you got that far. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that might have been longer then, because I did play for another day. I think I was
I'd say that's probably about 2 hours in, maybe 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours in. It's the first like boss fight, really.
Yeah. It's
but
not bad.
It's still part of the tutorial, so it's not too far into the game.
Okay, gotcha.
I thought it was pretty good first boss fight. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. It's got everything you like. I wasn't even mad. Yeah, so there you go. I checked it out. I took your advice. I said I'm gonna take his word for it. I'm gonna download this, and I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah. Totally forgot to mention that. I was gonna do it on stream, but I was like, you know what? Just for the sake of personal experience, I'm gonna do this just with me right now. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Right. Yeah, I gotcha. Well, so that's what you've been playing. I saw you on stream playing Roblox, and that looked like you were having some fun there.
Surprisingly, I'm being sold on it. I don't know what's wrong with me. Help me,
man.
Why do I like it?
I don't know. Look, we're gonna. I think we might talk about that just a little bit. Like, not really talk about Roblox, but talk about that kind of a game just for a brief moment here, another bit. But
sure.
I have been playing so many things because the review I'm working on right now, I was just telling you I had to move my camera and I messed up the settings before we went live. That the review I'm working on right now is for a mini PC, and it just hit like the same time as this Steam summer sale, and I don't really have that many PC games because I've always been a console gamer, and so I bought too many things. I spent too much money. And it's like,
Steam sales, they get you,
such a good price, you know.
That's how it goes.
So I have a tiny little Steam library now. But one of the things that I played and finished was actually some DLC. You know, I'm a huge Batman Arkham fan.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of my favorite franchises. And I bought, and one of my favorite games in that franchise is Arkham Origins, which is kind of the black sheep of the Arkham series. And like when they did the Arkham collection, remastered collection, they didn't include it in there because it was made by a different studio, and I don't know, people just don't think it's as good. But I disagree. I think it has the best story of all of them. Actually, I think, and I really love it. I've played it multiple times. It's the first game I ever played New Game Plus on ever. Was that game. I've bought it twice already. I bought it a third time on Steam. But because you can't buy it anywhere if you don't have original, well, you can play it on Xbox through backwards compatibility, which I did earlier this year actually already, but I have it on the Wii U. I still have my Wii U and my disc on the Wii U, and then I have it on Xbox. but you can't buy it. The only place you can buy it for PC, I believe, is on Steam, and it's delisted on all the console stores, so you can't buy it there. But you can buy it on Steam, and you can still buy the DLC on Steam. And on one of the DLCs is called Cold Cold Heart, and it tells the origin story of Mr. Freeze and Batman. And I'd never played it because back when that game was out, I couldn't afford to buy the DLC. I was lucky to even just have the game. So I bought that DLC and I played through it. And it's probably like maybe 4 hours, but I finished it this weekend. Well, it might be less than 4 hours, but I took my time because it was honestly like I had a new Arkham game because I'd never experienced this before. And you play like part of it as Bruce Wayne, and you're in Wayne Manor, and you have to like the manor gets attacked, and you have to sneak away. You're having a party there, and they come and they kidnap one of this rich dude, and you have to sneak away and sneak into the Batcave and get your stuff and come back out and then fight some people in the in Wayne Manor, and then you go into the city and you have to save the guy and figure out what's going on really. And there's a whole mystery thing behind it, and it has like all of the best parts of the Arkham games, but condensed down into those 4 hours. And so I just kind of took my sweet time with it, just enjoying it because it's been a while since I've had a new Arkham experience. And so I really had a great time.
That sounds great, man. And how was the voice acting for Mr. Freeze? Did they nail it? Or for what you know, at least? I don't know.
It was fine. It didn't bother me at all. It sounded like, I want to say it sounded pretty close to, he's been in the Arkham series before, but since Arkham Origins is supposed to be like the origin story of Batman, like in his first year as Batman, it takes place before all the other games, chronologically speaking. And so we hadn't seen Mr. Freeze in that game until the DLC. But he does show up in some of the other games. He shows up in Arkham City. Yeah, Arkham City for sure. Anyway, yeah. I thought it was good. I thought it was great.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I had a great time. So I've been a bunch of other stuff too, but like little bits and pieces of games, testing out this mini PC.
And all this was on the mini PC, the 4 hours and everything.
Yeah, I played the whole thing on there.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay, that's a good run test for the graphics cards and all that. See what it pushes. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. No, it was great, and it was pushing. I can't remember if I was playing in. I think I was playing in 1440p, and it was playing around 100 frames per second or so. I had the settings on high, so it did a pretty good job. I mean, that's a little bit of an older game,
right?
But it was still like looked really good. And I'll tell you this too, because I just played it on Xbox earlier this year.
Okay.
On Xbox Series X through backwards compatibility. It just you put the disc in and then it downloads the game. Well, what it downloads, like when you're in Gotham City, there's like billboards and stuff everywhere and signs and stuff on buildings. They all look awful on Series X. They look like thumbnails that have been blown up and expanded onto a billboard. Like they're all real super, super low res, but in the PC version, they're not like that. It's crystal clear, the whole thing. Nice. So it looks really, really good on PC.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So, yeah, I can't even remember what else I've been playing. I got another game that you might think is interesting, called Hypercharge Unboxed. It's basically like if Toy Story, or if Call of Duty met Toy Story. So you play as a toy, like an action figure.
Yeah, I've seen this game before. Yeah,
it's pretty fun too. It's pretty fun too.
This is really cool. Yeah. You enjoyed it?
I did. I haven't finished it yet, but
so it has a story mode?
I will. It has. It's a very light story mode, but yes, it does have a campaign. It does.
Yeah,
it tells the story through a series of like comic book pages. And it's not like super deep or anything, but it's just a fun little story about an evil action figure that wants to destroy the good action figures. I mean, it's not like it's very late 80s, early 90s.
Right. This isn't, The Last of Us.
No. No, but it's fun. It's fun.
Looks like a good time. Yeah, it looks very high quality too. I think I saw like promotions of this game. It looks very like the art style. I like the art style. That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. It caught my attention for a while. I finally dove in and made the purchase. So
very good.
It's been a fun play. Yeah. Well, man, I know that we're limited on time tonight, so you want to dive into our first topic?
Absolutely. Let's get into it, man.
All right. So, a few days ago, we got our first price increase, or not first price increase, but we got another price increase on Xbox Game Pass. And not just a price increase, but they made a new tier. So I'm going to try to show you that here. Here it is, them trying to explain it. So Game Pass Core, they came out with several months ago, and it's like pretty much like Xbox Live Gold was back in the day. You get a really small list of games that come with it. And you get to play online with other people, basically. All right. Then there's Game Pass Standard. That's the new one they just came out with. So it's going to be the price of what Game Pass used to be, $14.99 a month.
Yeah.
You get all of the Game Pass catalog, but you do not get day one games, which is like their big selling point for Game Pass, right?
Yeah,
is that you get games day one.
Yeah.
And you do not get that with Game Pass Standard anymore. You do get hundreds of games, the Game Pass catalog, I don't think they've said yet when the new games will enter into Game Pass. I don't know if it's like a year and then they come or what, but you don't get them day one. It just says added at a future date. So that's kind of disappointing. What's weird about that to me is that fourth column there that says PC Game Pass, which is only $11.99 a month. You get all of the Game Pass library and you get day one games on PC for $12, but on Xbox, which is the hardware that you would think they would want you to buy, for $15 a month, you do not get games on day one. That seems kind of odd to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like a strange disadvantage or something. It's weird.
It is weird. It's very weird. And then, of course, you get the perks and discounts of the Game Pass library. You also on PC get EA Play and Riot Games benefits. So you get EA games basically included in there as well.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yeah. Now, however, one of the other big selling points for a lot of people is Xbox cloud gaming. And you might kind of scoff at that because cloud gaming isn't the best, but there are certain situations where someone might, just not have access to the TV at night because, your kids are using it or your wife wants to watch something or whatever. But you can sit with your mobile gaming controller and put your phone in there and you can play Xbox cloud gaming, on your phone, or maybe you're traveling or whatever and you want to be able to play on your phone. That is only included now with Game Pass Ultimate, which is now $20 a month. So they've raised it $3. I think it was $16.99 and now it's going to be $19. I think they raised it $3.
Yeah.
They're also taking away the ability to stack, I think, starting in September. So you can no longer buy, a couple years ago, I bought 3 years worth of Game Pass. I stacked it all.
So you're not even thinking about it right now. Yeah.
I got it for $160, 3 years. for $160. I think it was $165, but whatever, something like that. That's a good deal. All right.
It is.
That's a really good deal.
No,
and now, instead of $160 for 3 years, it's going to be $240 for 1 year. So an $80 increase for a third of the time.
Yeah.
And this is all coming at a time, Yugi, when the price of everything is going up, right? The prices of groceries is going up. The prices of gasoline is going up. The price of like literally everything. Insurance costs are going way up. I just had a discussion about this with someone recently who was like, yeah, our insurance is going to come due this year, and it's going to go up 40%. 40% for the insurance on their building for their business.
Good grief.
And it's the same for households. I mean, household insurance is going up as well. So in a time when everything's going up and people are trying to find ways to cut back, but they also want to be, they need some kind of like, and we could talk about this separately, but a lot of people use gaming as like a way to, maybe deal with some of their stress or like, get as an escape from things going on in the real world. Now that's going to be costing them more as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about this?
Might be a hot take, but honestly, for the value, because think about, let's be fair. Gaming can we agree? I think that gaming is an expensive hobby. I don't think that's anything like crazy to say. Like,
I think it depends on what you're comparing it to, because if I'm comparing this to golf, I think it's actually a pretty affordable hobby. If I'm comparing it to like boating or something like that, I think it's a pretty
So look at it this way. Look at it this way. Let's say you're an active gamer. You got a PS5. You spent the $500. You keep up with the latest games. You're spending 70 bones probably every month. Let's say, right?
Yeah.
In comparison to paying 20 a month with an endless catalog, not endless, right? But you get my point.
It's a lot, though. Yeah.
It's a lot. You got day one releases, right? You can join all your boys on the latest Call of Duty. You don't have to spend the 70 bones to play it.
Yeah.
To me, if you're gonna compare, what you would typically spend if you're gaming as actively as a hobby, trying to play the latest games and releases, it's still pretty good for $20 a month, in my opinion. Maybe that's crazy, but
yeah, because if you break it down, you could even say, if you only bought one game every 3 months,
right,
that's then $60 every 3 months for a $60 game. When they were $60, now they're going up to $70. That's going to cover the cost of Game Pass Ultimate for a year. So it's still, in that regard, yeah, you're right. It's still a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal.
Yeah, because I mean, again, like, but what you said is perfect. Depends on the type of gamer you are. If you're one of those, you just buy Call of Duty once a year, you don't need this.
Huh?
You just buy Madden and that's all you play, until the next Madden. You don't need this.
Well, here's the other. The other thing is, we've seen such a huge decline in the release of first-party titles.
Right.
In the last few years. Are there even 4 games coming out?
Yeah.
In that year that you would buy?
Yeah, exactly.
That you would want to buy.
Like, yeah. So I think it would add to the idea that, like, depending on what you're looking for, if you're looking for an active catalog and you always want to play something new, you always want to check things out, I really don't see why you wouldn't buy this. But if you're just playing one game a year, maybe checking out one here and there, I don't see the point in getting Game Pass. But if you're like us, active gamers, always trying new things, checking out new things, this is still a steal. $3 more. It's, again, if you're already going to be spending $70 on new games, Game Pass is perfect. I would have never even touched the new Call of Duty if it wasn't on Game Pass. Wouldn't have even batted an eye, but the fact that it is, and I'm not spending $70 on something that I might not even like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's worth it.
Yeah. Okay. No, I look, I think that makes logical sense to me. I don't think that that's necessarily a hot take. I think you made a good case for it.
No. Now maybe past maybe I might go so far as to say you get past like 25, then I would reconsider. I would definitely like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you shouldn't do that, depending on what you're looking for, though.
I might be wrong about this, but I think my understanding of it as of today is that you will no longer be able to buy a whole year. It will be month to month. And so I guess you could, you could say, well, I know that I have the next month where I'm going to have a lot of time to game, so I'm going to buy it for this month. But the month after, I know I've got a lot of work and I'm going to not get it for that month. So you could like do that, but a lot of times with these subscriptions, you get it and then it auto renews and you forget about it.
You're not even thinking about it. Yeah.
Right. And like, I meant to cancel that and I didn't. Well, I'll do it before this month's up, and then you forget again.
That's how they get you, brother. That's how they get you. Right. Yeah, I mean, look, at $240 a year, right? Plus taxes, on or about closer to the, on the side of the 300 range. I mean, again, that's about, how many? Like about 5 AAA games, maybe. Right?
It would be four AAA games. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, considering what they're offering,
it would actually be 3.5. But yes,
3.5. Yeah. So 3 AAA games and an indie.
yeah.
But then you compare the catalog. Most of the games on there are still, decently priced. You got, the Forza games. You got, not maybe the most latest releases, but games that came out maybe a couple months ago that would have still been in the $40-$30 range.
I'll tell you something else I've noticed this gen is that games have not gone on steep discounts like they did last gen. Right. I don't know if you've noticed that either.
Yeah, I have. The obviously excluding Steam. Calm down, PC guys. The sales on console, because I scroll through sometimes, just to see what's on there, and the deals were not the greatest this year. I was like, I'm seeing games on here that've been out for a year that are not discounted as well as I thought they'd be. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like they both turned into Nintendo all of a sudden.
Right? Yeah, like who do you guys think you are? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because they used to go on sale so quick, and this gen just hasn't been that way. Like you said, Forza Horizon 5 is still like $50 or something. Yeah. And for I think 3 years almost at this point. They haven't been like that in the past, and I do wonder if it's because of that they haven't been putting out as many games, and also because the budgets have gone up. They just can't. They're just not going to do it anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know.
And that's what I mean. Like, again, like I look at it this way, because knowing that on half the games on there, I wouldn't have bought in anyway. Right. But if I had bought them, I would have spent more money. It just makes logical sense, and it gives you a good opportunity to explore. Break out of your box, right? Check out something that you would have spent maybe $50 on, like Forza Horizon. You might not have liked it, but whereas you can try it, check it out. If you don't like it, uninstall, try something else, and just go through the library, and you'd be surprised. There's some good stuff on there. Yeah, I tried out State of Decay too. I think normally that game's like $20-$30 range. That's already a month's worth of the subscription. Turns out I thought it'd be up my alley. Turns out I didn't really like it that much. I thought it was a little off for what I was looking for. Gotcha. No harm, no foul. You know what I mean? So I don't have to worry about like, well, I can't refund it because of the policy, or I have to take it to GameStop and they have to rob me to get the trade-in value. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know.
It's such a different world. Oh, and I know that we're a few years apart, but even the world that you grew up in, it's different because think back to when you were a kid. Like I was thinking about this today, and how like if you got to go to like a Blockbuster or like a rental place, and like that's not a place you got to go to every day. Maybe you got to go once. We didn't go very often. Maybe it was like every other month we got to go pick out a movie or something to rent or whatever. But even the drive over, like it was a whole experience because you had to drive there. Then you got to go through all the aisles and look and like try to decide, okay, which thing do I want for the next 4 or 5 days? And then you pick something out and you go to the register and there's all this excitement, and then you get like look at the case on the way home, and then you finally get home and you get to play it and or watch it, whichever, and just like. Or even like if we're gonna buy a game, like you got some birthday money or something, you know, and so you go into the store and you're gonna get to buy something, but you know this is like one of maybe 2 games you're gonna get all year, just like that you had to make like the right choice, you know. But there's all this excitement because you're gonna get something new. Yeah, and maybe you already had a game in mind. I don't know, but the excitement of being able to go get that was just so like it almost gives me goosebumps thinking about it to this day.
It's exhilarating.
Like butterflies in my stomach, you know.
Absolutely.
And now it's just I'll just pick this random one out on Game Pass and download it, and if I don't like it, I'll just delete it and get a different one.
Because it's different because it just feels like you're kind of scrolling through Netflix. It's like that Netflix effect. Yeah. Because you're just looking at thumbnails, but when you're physically there, I could even remember the smells, you know, like just that whole experience is, absolutely 110%, you know, knowing that like a new game came out and you want to be one of the first ones there to get it, you know, Blockbuster's like, we're going to have this game day one. And so everyone's outside because Modern Warfare, you know, such and such is at Blockbuster, or, you know what I mean? Like, 100%. Like, I agree with you there. It doesn't hit the same.
Does it devalue? Does it devalue all the games?
Maybe because you know what that is. That's a little bit of burnout too, though. You know what I mean? When you're so used to playing so many games, I think if it's like new for you and you're not an active gamer, but you're just looking to have some fun for a month, you're just like, I just want to try it. I don't think it would devalue it, but I think if you play a lot, then maybe I would agree with that. But you're at the end of the day, even if you are an active gamer or you're not, the experience of going to a midnight release, physically holding the case, maybe being one of the cool cats who got the collector's edition with the merch. You can't beat that experience, man. Like some of the experiences I have,
you can't replicate it. No, from getting it online for sure.
No, it doesn't hit the same anymore. I remember, like, and I know you've went to the midnight release for Halo. Is that correct? Or am I?
Oh yeah.
I remember you told me that experience. Like, and I've had my own of like, the one I'll never forget is when I bought a Metal Gear Rising, the collector's edition, and it was a lava lamp with electricity coming out of the sword.
That's so cool.
It's so cool, man. And then, I kicked myself because I had it while I was in the military, and you know, like you have to clean your room, right? Obviously, you know, I say it like it's such a bad thing, but anyway, I had to get it done, and I was like cleaning as fast as I can because I wanted to play more Metal Gear Rising, right? And I freaking I swiped it, and it shattered everywhere.
No.
Oh man, dude, broke my heart. I didn't know that.
Man. When you told me that story before, I was like, "Where is it? Show it to us." I didn't say that because I figured
shattered.
Figured it was like put away in a box somewhere, but no, it's gone. Oh, that is so sad.
Yeah, so tragic, man. But man, it was the coolest thing. I remember people used to come over just to touch it because it would like react to your fingers, you know.
Yeah,
they don't make them like they used to, brother. They really don't, man.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Maybe devalue was the wrong word. I don't know, but I just feel like it's something. It's when you have access to all this stuff. It just oh my goodness, what is happening? The computer's beeping at me. That's a terrible noise. It was an ad. It was an ad. It was a pop-up ad.
Whoa.
On this thing that I was about to pull up. I opened up the tab and it was
excuse you, computer.
So silly. Anyway, sorry that my eardrums just busted from that high pitched noise they were playing in my ear.
It's crazy. Microsoft, get it together.
All right, so I lost my tab I was going to show, but I think I remember everything that was on it. I had to close that. It was not good. Actually, we have a comment from our friend the Construct. They wanted to be the Netflix of gaming, but we didn't need that. No, we really didn't.
Netflixification of games. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what it is. That's
no
what
one
it
asked
is
for the Netflixification.
And then I find myself scrolling things that I would typically probably give more attention to, but I'm like, really feel like it. Yeah, it's just absolutely. It definitely. Yeah, maybe if not the word devalue, maybe desensitize. Maybe that would be the word.
Yeah,
you think?
there's a word. I don't know what it is. It might be. It's something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like before, man. Yeah.
It's really 100%. Not, because you get a game and man, you just play it and play it and play it and play it. Because, like I said, you might only get two or three games a year, maybe if you were lucky.
Now we're grown. We got jobs. We got more money but less time, and you got to make it count. So absolutely, it doesn't hit the same. So but hey, still bang for your buck. I'm looking at it right now, real quick, and the fact they added neon white again. I would have never paid for this game. No disrespect. It looks fun though. I'll play it.
I want to play that one. I want to check at least check it out. And there's the thing right there. I'm not going to finish that game. I'm going to check it out just to say that I played it and see what it's about, and then it's going to be gone.
That's going to be on, But whereas before, you're not checking it out. You got to be committed. You know what I'm saying? That's why you looked at the case. That's why you asked around. You asked your friends. You did the research. Now it's just like, I'm just going to try it real quick. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I was gonna pull up this tab about Concord. We've talked about Concord.
Oh Lord.
And on this PlayStation first party 5v5 hero shooter that they're coming out with, and they had a beta test this weekend, and it was supposed to be for people who had pre-ordered the deluxe version of the game. You were going to be able to beta test it. But what I'm hearing is that the day before, like on Thursday, I guess, they said, no, actually, we're going to let anyone who has a PlayStation Plus subscription of any tier download and play the game. It's like a limited version of the game, right? It's only has so many maps and so many game modes. It's not the full game, but to test it out. And maybe you can look this up and put it on screen. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm not on my PC right now. I don't have Steam installed on this computer.
No worries.
But
Steam charts?
But yeah. Do you know how to pull that up?
Yeah.
The Steam chart on there. My understanding is that their maximum player count was less than 1,200 people, and that was at the beginning of the weekend, and by the end of the weekend, it was down to 400 or something. So more than cut in half. Same opening weekend, the first Descendant had over 200,000 concurrent players.
And when did this
this was this weekend.
Yeah. This weekend. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
If you can't pull it up, it's fine, but I would love to see that chart if we can.
I got you. So it's not. Ooh, this is pretty bad. Here, let me show you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, here we go. We're gonna do this, and here we go, right here. So here's the users right now, the 24-hour peak, and then 3 days ago peak. Yeah, that is not.
At 3 days ago peak, yeah, that's not good. Now I think that the beta's over now, or it might be today, ending today. I can't remember, but they're doing it again next weekend. So if you missed your chance, you can play it again next weekend. But this is really not good, and so every video I've watched on it, they've all had different things to say, but for the most part, the general consensus is that the game is very slow. that nobody wants to play as one of the tank characters because they are like egregiously slow.
Right.
It takes forever to get anywhere. And the different heroes they're just really generic. And that's kind of what we had already assumed and talked about when we watched the trailer on the podcast a few
very
weeks ago.
underwhelming.
Yeah. And so again, this is a game that they started development on back in like 2019, 2018, something like that. And it was very much, I think, birthed or out of this era that was very into that original Overwatch.
Yeah.
And the gaming in general has really moved on from that, I think. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. Yeah. No one, especially considering how much of a bad taste Overwatch has been leaving in people's mouths after the last fiasco with the, you know what I mean? Like that didn't help. And that's what I mean. Like it's so frustrating. Like their decision to cancel the single player is one of the most frustrating. Like it's such a Blizzard move. Like, because that's how you migrate people to multiplayer. Like it's such a disconnect from like whoever the people are in charge there, because if you're already playing Overwatch consistently and you've got friends that are playing multiplayer, or you just want to play multiplayer while you wait for your co-op friends, right? There's an interchangeability there. And so, you know, with that happening, people having a bad taste, then this comes out with nothing new to offer.
Yeah.
Of course, like you say, DOA, absolutely. You got to give us something more. Nobody just wants more of what they are already, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like already like kind of have a sour feel for it now. It's just like you got to have more. You got to have something there. And that's what I liked about that one game you showed, that it's giving more. It's giving, you know what I mean? It's giving something new and refreshing. That's what you need, man. Yeah.
I forgot what the name of that. Fragpunk, I think is what it was.
There it is.
Yeah. Also, you can play Overwatch 2 for free now, right? Like it's free to play, right? This costs $40.
Yeah.
And that's the standard version. If you want the deluxe version, I think it's $60 or $70. But yeah, that's not great. Could you pull up?
Oh yeah.
Like Helldivers was $40, right?
Oh, and I know Helldivers has way better numbers than this. Let's see.
So, and that was this year also, and it's also like a team-based shooter.
Oh, dude, look at these numbers. You're gonna be shocked. Here we go. Hopefully, I got the same one. Let me do this. Share screen. Here we go. Window. Helldivers 2. Boom. There we go. Check this out. Look at this. 24-hour peak.
Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this
still thriving.
Right.
And how many people are playing right now is insane as well. It's like, that's crazy
on a Monday night, you know. Like,
right.
It's not even the weekend, so this is not looking good for Concord or Sony, who's spent quite a bit of money. They bought this studio because they saw this game, and I just don't see what they saw in this game. I don't understand. I know that they want to get into live service stuff more, but this is just not good. Not a good trajectory for this game. I'm sorry to say. I don't want to see developers put out games that don't succeed. I don't want to see that, because we've already seen enough like studio closures and stuff in the last year. Like it's been awful. So I don't, want to trash the game, but it's making me sad to see it come out like this, to see them waste. I hate to even say that, but it feels like a waste. It feels like a waste of time and talent and money to be pouring it into this game that nobody wants, because they were hoping to line their pockets with microtransactions. And
now granted, like, I don't think Sony gives their numbers, but again, like, guesstimation, because again, I don't know anyone who's raving about it on socials. I don't hear anyone talking about it. We're going off the Steam charts. I highly doubt there's a big difference, where I can about guarantee to you that if you were to include PS4 numbers, or excuse me, PS5 numbers, this number will be way higher for Helldivers, way higher. So to see that coupled with it, I don't know, man. It's just not good.
So what we don't have, to that point, is numbers on the PlayStation count, because they don't give us those numbers. This is just on Steam, right? So it could definitely add to that somewhat. But here's the other thing is that last minute inclusion of if you have any tier of PlayStation Plus, we'll let you play this for the beta. That says something to me, that the pre-sale numbers on this for the deluxe really edition bad. Were probably very low, and they need people to test this game. And
exactly, like imagine like of the amount that peaked this last weekend, right? I mean, how many of these people actually even bought the game? Ooh.
Yeah, I know. No. So it's not looking good for Concord, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, no, if it's Steam charged, they would have had to have okay, so no, assuming no, they would all have to have pre-ordered. So okay, that's a I don't know if they got all their money back from their budget, but at least it's something. But yeah, I get considering
it took them 6 years to make this. I seriously doubt
6 years.
I seriously doubt they got their money back with those numbers.
That ain't it, Chief. That ain't
it. Yeah.
Well, sorry guys, man. I don't know. We can offset the blame on a lot of different people, I guess, but we can theorize all day, but you're right. I do feel bad for the devs, 110%.
Yeah, and I had somebody comment something today about how you're like, you need to stop complaining that this has microtransactions, because literally all the games have microtransactions now. And I was like, I'm not complaining. I'm stating a fact, and I think that this practice needs to stop, because I think it's destroying the gaming industry.
It is.
And I was like, here's the truth. There is limited wealth and limited time. Right. And the gaming community cannot support all of these different games that have all of these different microtransactions. It simply can't. And so the more that they're pushed and those games fail, the more of that talent gets laid off, and the more of those studios get closed.
Amen.
And the successful ones will remain, but the successful ones, that number will decrease over time, because there is a limited player base and a limited amount of wealth to go around.
Yep.
And you can't, your stocks and everything can't continue to do this all the time. It just can't.
No.
And
not everyone's Fortnite. Everyone would just rather buy the next battle pass. Why spend it on this other game that looks like Concord?
Right. And that brings me to my poll today, actually. And my poll today was this: would you rather have all your games be free with various microtransactions, or all your games priced at $70 with no extra purchases?
Wow.
And
look at the results.
36 votes, 100%. I mean, it's not a lot of votes, but it is unanimous. For the votes that are there.
36 is a lot of people. Complete. That's a full house.
Well, yeah, if they were in your house, you would be ready for people to leave, for sure.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Like, that's an entire cookout right there. The whole cookout agrees.
That's
something.
That's a block party. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they all agree, paid but complete. And I think that man, well, even that comment down there, 100% for paid, no comments.
Speaks for itself, man. The BKG community has spoken.
So I don't know, man. That's how I feel about that anyway. They really need to consider stopping these practices, or at least limiting them. And it drives me nuts that the head of WB has come out. They had a hugely successful game in Hogwarts Legacy last year that did not have microtransactions. And then they've had a very terrible game this year called Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, which we've talked about multiple times, and how it is a complete piece of garbage.
Right.
And let me tell you this. Did you see this? Prime Day's tomorrow. Guess what game you can get for free on Prime Day?
That piece of garbage?
That piece of garbage. That piece of garbage that came out in February of this year for $70 is going to be free on Prime Day for PC users. Unbelievable.
And I won't be downloading it, even if it's free, because I have principles.
He wants to double down on that. He wants to double down on games like that rather than Hogwarts Legacy, which made like $1 billion.
More than COD. What a flex, by the way. Shout out to the people who made Hogwarts. That's a flex. You sold more than Call of Duty. You got to hang that on a plaque. Yeah.
But instead of following that, which people clearly want, he wants to follow the other thing, which people clearly don't want. And I do not understand. And this poll, I think, proves what people want. They want complete games that they can pay for and have.
Amazing. It's almost like amazing. We've been saying this the whole time, but here we are. It's all right. I think, I don't know what, I guess, like, not to go too far off. Or too long-winded, because I don't see anyone doing that besides Nintendo and Sony. I would love to see if like Xbox can maybe pick up the ball when it comes to that motto of just making good original stuff. Now I know they're doing the Indiana Jones game that looks interesting and promising.
Yeah.
Is there another one I'm not thinking of? Like, because maybe I'm being avowed. Maybe it seems like I'm being optimistic, but it certainly feels like, although the releases are sparsed out, maybe they're starting to look at it that way. At least that's what I hope. That's what it seems like, but I don't know. I'm hopeful because the money talks. You know what I mean? No one's spending money on these games, but the moment you announce a new God of War, like everyone's hype. Not a single soul online isn't talking about how much they want to play it. So I don't know. Maybe the tide is changing is what I'm getting at. Maybe.
I hope so. And that is the old saying that money talks, but
no,
they keep making. I keep thinking this game will be the one that changes their mind. They need to stop this, and then it doesn't. And so I don't. We'll see. I think the next year will be pretty telling because I don't feel like they can last much longer with a lot of the current business practices. I think some things are going to break. There's going to have to be some change.
Yeah.
If they want to continue, but
that's the big criticism. For example, for Madden, because a lot of people are protesting Madden, which is hilarious. But anyway, they're going actively out of their way to not spend money on these games or negatively review these games. But the problem is you have influencers who work with these companies who spend like buckets of money on these like microtransactions, and they're saying that it's the whales, is what they call them, that are essentially keeping these companies afloat, because it's those who are like consistently, like the COD the COD problem, for example. The reason why they know they can release such low quality games now is because they know that these streamers, influencers, content creators will buy those latest packs in order to make content out of it, and it's like a vicious cycle kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's not the people that are just jumping in, playing it, and leaving. It's these content creators, and funny enough, like me and you are, right? But what do you think about that theory? That's the only reason why this is even happening?
Because of content creators?
Yeah, content creators, streamers, the whales, right? The guys who spend boatloads to get every skin.
The reason that there's so many microtransactions?
Yeah.
That's interesting. That might be part of it because of the influencer culture. It could be part of it. Yeah. Because if you've got somebody, I mean, let's be honest, sometimes, these companies will pay somebody who's popular to play something for a little while. And if you can get them playing it, while they're playing it and they're influencing other people to play it, then you can rake in not just money from the sale of the game if you have to buy it, but from those microtransactions too.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, sometimes they even make skins or whatever of content creators.
Exactly. So it's like a vicious cycle, and that's
yeah.
You'll see some. I'll say this: you see some more people who have a cynical approach to microtransactions, which I don't. Right? I don't think it's all bad. It just depends on how you do it. But the more cynics, right? The more Debbie Downers, or I don't even know if I don't even think if that's fair. Let's just say the more harsher critics of microtransactions will solely blame the whales, the content creators, for this problem, despite that the common folks disagree that this isn't a good model for making money. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting topic. Maybe we'll get into it another time. But
and I know that our time is short tonight. I know you got somewhere you got to be, and everything we talked about tonight has to do with the cost of things, pretty much. The cost of gaming, and I always like to bring in a little faith element into these conversations, and I was thinking today about that, and how like there was a cost involved in my life that someone paid for me, and it was Jesus. And I was reading this verse today. It says, Colossians 2:13 says, when you were dead, when I was dead in my sins and in the uncircumcision of my flesh, God made me alive with Christ. He forgave me all my sins. I'm like, I know I'm changing the wording, but I'm making it personal. Okay. So he forgave me all my sins, having canceled the charge of my legal indebtedness, which stood against me and condemned me. He has taken it away, nailing it to the cross.
There you go. Look at that. That's a good word right there. Indebtedness, because that's true. We are indebted for what we've done, but praise God, that's not a concern. Through the faith in the gospel, you don't have to worry about what you may owe or not owe God. It's not about that anymore. Praise God for that.
Yeah. So the costs of Game Pass and the cost of gaming might be going up, man, but there was a cost that nobody could pay, and Jesus paid it for us. It was the price of our sin, and
that's right.
He paid it on our behalf, and He's taken that condemnation and that indebtedness away. He's nailed it to the cross forever. And I'm very grateful for that. And so I just wanted to share that tonight. And if you don't know that, that price has been paid for you, Yugi and I would love to talk to you about it.
Absolutely.
And we just want you to know
that eternal pass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes. Eternal Pass Ultimate.
Yup. Straight into heaven. I heard it's going to be pretty nice up there. You should join us.
Yeah. Absolutely. But it's even more than that. We don't have to wait for then to see the benefits of it. It starts even now. Just the love and the joy and the peace that comes with knowing Jesus, and knowing that your debt is paid, and knowing that when the world wants you to feel condemned and wants to push you, shove you down, man, it doesn't have the power to do that. He has freed you from your condemnation.
That's right.
And you don't given us life.
Exactly. You don't have to sleep at night wondering, if I don't wake up tomorrow, what's going to happen? You don't have to feel that anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Through faith in Christ Jesus, you can rest assured in confidence that your life doesn't end here at the grave. It actually continues.
Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Well, that about wraps it up. I know we got to go. You got to go. And so we're cutting things a little short tonight, but I thank you, man, for joining me here and talking some gaming and some Jesus with me.
Yes, sir.
Find Yugi over on his channel. I've linked him in the description below. And yeah, man, we love you guys. Thanks for watching. Stay kind and encouraging out there, and I'll catch you on the flippity flip. See you.
Appreciate you.